get this party started. All right. All right, just like we normally do, we are going to warm up even more. So you're going to notice that tonight our warm up will be a little different. Some parts will be the same. Some parts will be just slightly different, just so we can get you a little bit more warmed up before you get to the 20-minute section. So I will walk you through those parts to get us going to the point where we get going for the 20 minutes. So here's how this is going to go tonight. That 20-minute portion is where we're looking for the data. So if you're connected to Garmin Connect, Strava, any kind of online program, typically your workouts upload into those online platforms. Then you can take that information, and I'm going to talk specifically about Garmin Connect, since that's probably what most of you have. If you're using Garmin Connect and you do a workout, you'll see that there are stats at the bottom of that workout. So in those stats, they typically give to you a 20-minute average power or average heart rate. That's what we're looking for. So we want to come up with a 20-minute effort tonight that's going to give us an average number for that period of time. Then what comes out of that average number is you then will create zones, either heart rate zones or power zones. And as you all know, when we do workouts, we utilize those zones to help us with staying within the zones so that we're doing our workouts effectively. So we're not always driving it at zone 5, and we're not down here doing a workout that's not worth it, or junk miles as they're called. So when we get to that 20-minute portion, you can do one of two things. You can use your lap feature on your Garmin, which will just start a separate clock for just that 20-minute segment. Or if you want to stop the workout, save it, start a new one for just that 20-minute section, you can do that. Or you can do absolutely nothing, because you know that your workout, the full workout, is going to upload, even if it's uploading to Training Peaks, for those of you that are some of my Training Peak athletes. I can literally pull out of the workout the 20-minute segment. So you don't even need to do anything other than do your best. So that 20 minutes is where we're going to determine what your average is over that time. And then we'll create zones from that. So after this is all said and done, for those of you who I don't have a connection with on any of the platforms, if you're looking for that data and you don't have a resource, if you have a means to upload or send to me your file from today, depending on what that file is, more than likely I can upload it and determine what that 20-minute average is for you. So that's what we're looking for tonight. As we did last week, this is all about gauging your effort. We want this to be like a time trial effort, but obviously it's hard to do a 20-minute time trial. So you're going to gauge that effort and build it as we did with some of those efforts last week. but you're going to be kind of at that limit still. So that last minute, when we're done, I want you to be done. I want you to give me the best effort you can. Here's the hardest part of the whole scenario is we want your average cadence to be around 90 for the whole 20 minutes. We want you to hold that 90 cadence as much as you can. So obviously, that's going to be a key metric that you want to look at. If you're using heart rate or power, I would prefer that you not see your heart rate or your power as you do this 20-minute effort, because sometimes it spooks us. We see ourselves getting to a heart rate that we haven't ever seen before, or we see ourselves going to power that might not be what we think we should be at, or that we're holding higher than we think we can hold. So psychologically, when you see that information, it doesn't help you to do a pure test. The other part I want you guys to remember is you are doing this test on the trainer. If you did this test outside, you would potentially get different numbers. So part of the reason for doing it indoors is because that's what we're doing now. We're working on the trainer. We can use this data while we're working on the trainer. You can use it outside, but it may feel like it's a little lower than what you could achieve in an outdoor setting. Of course, depending on the weather conditions, the wind conditions, the terrain conditions. So there's so many other factors that fall into place when you do a test like this outside. And that's why it's hard to achieve this kind of test outside. I actually did a 20-minute test out in California at a training camp. And the way that it happened was it was literally an abandoned road that we went 10 minutes out and 10 minutes back. And that was the best because we didn't have to worry about cars. We didn't have to worry about stoplights. We didn't have to make any turns. And we were able to get a really solid 20-minute effort. So that's hard to do here, especially in New Jersey. It would be almost virtually impossible to get that done. So that's why the trainer becomes a great resource to make that happen. All right, so we're getting in a good warm up. As always, you should have your water bottle, your towel, and your fan. The fan will be very important tonight, just to keep you in the mix, keep the body temperature at an adequate level, and to keep you cool as you go through that 20-minute effort. So I'm going to have some stuff to share with you as we go through that 20 minutes. So keep you occupied. You can listen to my voice. Randy said, are you going to be doing the test at the same time? I'm probably going to be doing something of a degree, but not to the degree I would do it if I was doing the test. A little hard for me to talk and do the test to its fullest. So I'll be doing it at probably right at the edge of where you guys are, just so I can stay in the mix with you. All right. So to get us started in a couple of minutes, we're going to do 5-minute effort just to get started. We're going to be in our small ring 15 when we do this. You don't have to go there yet. We're going to start with just 30 seconds hard and 1 minute easy. The difference here is the easy part. You're not going to shift out of that 15. You're going to stay there. Just going to reduce your pedal speed and the effort level. And this warm up, I want you to really kind of work it a little harder than you might so the body gets warmed up enough. All right, so I want you to find your small ring, which you're probably already in, down to your 15, which means that you're going to have 3 gears under your chain. You're going to give me 30 seconds, as hard as you can go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Bring up the pace. Start to get the lactic acid to come to the surface. We really need for that to happen before we get this 20-minute effort going. So really work these 30-second efforts. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Stay in this gear. You're bringing your cadence down to 70. That's okay. We're going to do 30 seconds here. Then I want you to shift all the way to your easiest gear. Bring that cadence up. All the way to 100. If you can hit 110, then go for it. Really spin it high. We're going to stay here for 30. Shifting back down to that 15. 3, 2. Give me 30 seconds hard. Let's go. Warming up. Feeling the legs. If they're burning, you're doing this right. 3, 2. Bring that cadence down. Somewhere around 75, 70. Just let the legs feel this gear. Sure your heart rate's starting to pump. Shifting up to that easy gear. Bringing that cadence up. Between 100 and 110. Nice and solid. No bouncing. Control it. Use those abs. Pull that belly button in. Push your butt into your saddle. Back down to that 15. 3, 2, give me 30 hard. Sitting up nice and tall. Going hard here. Feeling the burn on this one. Three, 2, bring it down. 70 to 75. So this next high cadence, instead of going all the way to the top of the cassette, I want you to go down one harder gear. So go up, give yourself one harder gear, all the way to the top, one harder gear, find that 110 again. So you're probably in like your 28. Spinning it, spinning it. Back down to that 15. Last 30 seconds hard. Push it here, push it. Hopefully you've all come well hydrated. 3, 2, easiest gear, small ring, spin easy, take a drink. All right. 1 minute easy. Then we're going to do a 3-minute effort. Get you warmed up even more. Then after that 3-minute effort, we're going to do a significant little kind of break. And then our 20 minutes will start. So for this 3 minutes, this is going to get the legs even more warmed up. We're going to do 5 seconds standing, 5 seconds seated. You're just going to go back and forth. Go whatever pace works for you. It's only 3 minutes worth. It's just enough to bring a little bit more burn to the legs. Get those legs ready even more. So for those bike racers that I'm coaching, this is the kind of warm-up I would give them before a race. Something that just gets some snap in the legs and allows them to go to the race with legs ready to ride, ready to race, and ready to go for it. So for this 3 minutes coming up, you're going to stay in your small ring, and you're going to go all the way down to your 13. So go ahead and find that. That's probably 1 gear up from your smallest cog in the back. Just 1. 5 seconds standing. 3, 2, 1. In your hoods. Standing up. Sitting back down. This is going to go fast. Just up and down. Up. And down. Just enough resistance. And up. To give you a good flow. And down. And up. Might be feeling some burn now. Down. Up. Find that rhythm. Down. Up. And down. Coming up to 1 minute. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. And down. Up. Down. Don't feel your fear if your legs are burning a little. That's okay. Up. Down. Up. Down. On the 2 minute mark. 1 to go. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. 30 seconds to go. Down. Up. Down. Up. Last time. Down. Easy. Gear. Spin it out. Take a drink. You're going to let the legs recover just a little. And then we're going to move in to our 20 minutes. So make sure you're taking a drink. Get yourself ready. Mentally and physically. So what I want you to think about is segment this 20 minutes into 5-minute segments. So each 5 minutes, I want you to, just like we did last week, increase your effort just slightly. Try your best to hold that 90 cadence or above. I don't want you being in the easy gear on your bike, spinning and not going anywhere and not getting any effort. That 90 just becomes a constant to allow you to have something to hold you accountable to a metric. And just like last week, you can shift to any gear at any time. If you feel like in the 5th minute, you need to shift to a harder gear or an easier gear, do that. This is all up to you. You are the driver of this test today. All I want you to do is give me your best 20-minute effort that you can give me. And know that if you feel like this 20-minute effort wasn't your best effort, that gives you a place to start. So nobody can fail this test. Everybody gets an A+ already before you've even done it. And that's just for showing up and doing 20 minutes of hard work. So think of it as a 20-minute gauged time trial. That's the best way to put it. And a time trial is all out, but you also have to gauge your effort when you do a time trial. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do, and remember, during this 20 minutes, you can drink whenever you want. You just need to keep the legs moving, keep the body going, and just try to use that 5 minutes as your gauge to slowly increase your effort as you go. All right, so we're going to get started here. If you want to hit your lap button before whenever I say go, you can. You don't have to. What I want you to remember is to build this effort. All right, so find the gear you want to be in. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Try to find 90. Holding 90. If you're already getting to 110 at the beginning, then you need to find yourself a little harder gear. So gauge the effort now. Start to listen to your breathing. That's most important. We know that if you're breathing heavily, that means you might be in a bigger zone than you need to be in. If you're breathing and you're able to talk to me in 10-word sentences, then the effort might need to increase just slightly. If I were to put a zone into effect right now, you're probably going to be upper zone 3, maybe touching on zone 4. But it's also a personal preference as to how hard you can go from the beginning. So my cadence was just a little bit too high, so I shifted to one harder gear. If you feel like you need to do that same thing at any point, you may do that. I'll give you time gauges along the way. Some people love to know where they are. Some people hate to know where they are. So I'm going to try to not give it to you too frequently, but give it to you enough that you'll know where you are in the effort level. Hopefully you found that 90 and that cadence that's working and that gearing that's best for right now. Be patient here. Move your hands around on the bars as you go. Don't get stagnant. Remember all those body adjustments. Relaxing those shoulders and the face. Don't forget to drink. So I found something to keep us occupied. How many are on this list? 30 interesting facts about New Jersey. Some of them are actually very interesting. As we all know, this is the Garden State. That's the nickname for New Jersey. And our capital is Trenton. I have to admit, I've only been to Trenton once. And it was because I was selected to be on a jury. But fortunately, when I got there, they didn't actually select me. So that was good. I'm sure we all know, just from riding our bikes in this state, the Garden State, that we have the highest density population of any state in the United States. I don't know what that population is, but man, we got a lot of peeps around here. %90 of all people who live in New Jersey live in what is considered an urban area. And just like that, you've done 5 minutes. So keep the effort going. If you find yourself in a nice rhythm, just keep it. If you feel like you have a little bit more to give, then maybe increase your cadence just slightly. We're looking for a nice, consistent effort. I'm looking for a test, and I look at the data. It should just look like a tabletop for 20 minutes. Or, if you're building it, a nice gradual climb. So whichever works for you is what we're looking for. So I'm sure we could all guess this one, and that's why it gets such a bad rap. More cars are stolen in Newark than in any other city in the United States. That's pretty bad. I don't know if I told you guys, but I know someone who lives in Ramsey. Her husband, her friends, probably her children, told her, Mom, you got to stop leaving the fob in the car. Well, she didn't listen, and her car got stolen. That's like saying to the thieves, here's my car, just take it. So I haven't checked back with her to see if she's gotten it back or what's happening. All right, keep yourselves in the game. You're going to be coming up to the halfway point here sooner than you think. Take a drink if you need it. Keep telling yourself good positive thoughts. You've got this. Stick with it. Be consistent. I want you to keep on going. New Jersey has a state seashell. It's the knobbed whelk and is known to be used in the Italian dish of scungille. So if you've been to the shore, you've probably seen that particular shell. Never knew this one. Beamerville. I don't even know where Beamerville is. That is in New Jersey. Is home to a volcano. It's no longer active, but it's a popular site for real estate development. Perfect. Come live on our non-active volcano. It'll be a hot property. Get it? That was bad. Trying to keep you in the game. Speaking of games, if you've played the game Monopoly, you are familiar with the names of real streets in Atlantic City. Never knew that either. All right. You guys have done it. It's the halfway point. 10 minutes down, 10 to go. Stay in the game. Keep it going. Take a drink. Towel off if you need it. The first ever baseball game was played in Hoboken. Never knew that either. In September of 1921, the first Miss America pageant was held on the boardwalk of Atlantic City. And I think they're still holding it there. That was one of those things that my sister and I, even to this day, when like Miss America or Miss Universe is on TV, we're always calling or texting each other, with our wins. Who's going to win? Who's it going to be? All right, stay in the game. I know you're starting to feel this effort. Straighten up your body a little. Flatten your back out. Maybe change your hand position. Maybe towel off if you need it. Take a drink if you haven't. Want to keep you in the game here. I think we all know this one. New Jersey is home to more diners than any other state. But unfortunately, some of those diners are starting to close. I think the pandemic did some of that. Sticking with it. Cape May, New Jersey is the oldest seaside resort in the United States. Woo! You're making this happen, guys. You're doing great. You're sticking to it. Legs are responding. This is one I thought was really interesting. During the Revolutionary War, more battles were fought in New Jersey than in any other state. You don't think of this as a state that had a lot of battles. Too bad for New Jersey. They don't have an official state song. They should have a contest among all the high schools to create one. Keep the legs moving. Almost coming up to 15 minutes. When we hit that mark, only 5 to go. I know you have 5 minutes of effort left. All right. All you got is 5. Stick to it. Take a drink if you need it. Towel off. I'm going to give you a little bit more time recognition. So if you want to start building this last 5 minutes, you can do that. So I'll give you every minute. While New Jersey doesn't have a state song, they do have a state fish. The brook trout. Kind of a funny one. Thomas Edison had his lab in Menlo Park. 4 to go. Stay where you are. Don't let your leg speed drop. Stick with it. Keep your head in the game. The very first submarine ride took place in the Passaic River. Wow. New Jersey has the tallest water tower in the world. What? It's located in Union, New Jersey. 3 minutes to go. Come on. You've got 3 minutes. Stick with it. If you can increase the pace, then go for it. Keep those legs moving. You're starting to feel the effects? That's fine. Then you're doing it right. In 1968, Princeton played Rutgers in the very first intercollegiate football game. Only 2 to go. Come on. Keep it going. Stay focused. Take a drink if you feel like you need it. Now this is even funnier. New Jersey state bug is the honeybee. Do we classify a honeybee as a bug? I guess so. Camden, New Jersey was the very first site of the drive-in movie theater. All right, you're almost there. For real. 1 to go, 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 1 to go. Come on. Increase your pace. Give me everything you got. Make this last minute the strongest. Force yourself to hunker down and go hard. 30 left. Here we go. 15. You've done it. Everybody made it. 5, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice. Keep the legs moving. Don't stop your legs. Allow yourself to sit up if you need to. Great. Great job. I told you that would go faster than you thought it would. Fortunately, Earl didn't lose his oatmeal. That's a good thing. Keep the legs just spinning in an easy gear at whatever feels good. Don't go too hard. This recovery is going to be key. Just enough to get all that lactic acid that you threw in there, kind of flushing it out. So keeping those legs moving is going to be key. So for those of you who are using Garmin Connect, when you upload this after this workout, you're going to notice in your data that it's going to give to you your 20-minute average power. Fantastic. Now it has a 20-minute average power effort for you. What you can do is, on your online Garmin Connect, if you go to your device settings, which will probably be on your home screen, and then you go to user settings and scroll down, you're going to see a section where you can actually put in your LT for heart rate or your FTP for power. Then what you're going to need to do, if you're doing power, is next to each of the zones, there's going to be a percentage box. You're going to change that percentage box to 70% for zone 2, then 80% for zone 3, 90 for zone 4, 100 for zone 5, 110 for zone 6, and 120 for zone 7. Now, if you're using heart rate, you're going to have to send to me your average heart rate for that 20-minute effort. Because for some reason, Garmin doesn't allow you to do anything other than a max heart rate to determine your zones. So if you can give me your average for that 20 minutes, I'll calculate for you the zones, and you can manually put them in to that Garmin Connect section. Now, if you're using Wahoo, Strava, they do the same. There should be a mechanism for you to enter your FTP or LT, lactate threshold, functional threshold power, and then that will create the zones for you. So then when we start to do workouts moving forward, you will have appropriate zones to go by. Now, on your computer itself, if you're using heart rate, you should have a screen, a field that says heart rate by zone, which means it will do zone 1 is 1.0 to 1.9. Zone 2 is 2.0 to 2.9, and so on. In terms of power, you can do the same thing as power by zone, or you can just do zones, meaning it's going to give you the number. It's nice to do these by zones because then you don't have to think about, oh, at 150, I'm in zone 3. Now, what we're going to do next week to help you understand this even more is we're going to do a good workout that's going to kind of force you into all of those various zones. So you can see what it feels like to get there, and you can see what it feels like to go through each of those zones. Of course, people using power, we're not going to go past zone 5. I won't make you, well, we might go for a hard sprint, see if you can get into those higher zones. But that's why we use this kind of data for our training. It works very effectively when we're on the trainer. It gives us metrics. It keeps us in the workout, and it allows us to not overtrain, which a lot of people tend to do because they don't understand where they need to be to keep themselves moving forward. If you work too much in the higher zones, then your body doesn't have a good base. So hopefully you're still spinning your legs. How many of you have consumed your entire bottle? If you haven't, get to it, finish it before we get off this bike so that the body can start to recover now with that added hydration. And then, of course, you're going to do your recovery shake and your meal. Know that if you feel really tired tomorrow, don't be surprised, because you've just forced the body to go for 20 minutes at a very high level, and it's going to need some time to recover. So that's why that recovery shake becomes really important. If anybody has any questions about any of this stuff, if you want to email me. If you don't have any sources to upload, as I said, if you can send your file to me directly from your Garmin. So if you connect your Garmin to your computer, just like any file, like a Word document or anything like that, you should be able to find that file by date. And that's what I'm looking for, is the actual file out of your Garmin. If you email that to me, I should be able to dump it in to my program, which is Training Peaks, and get those zones for you. All right, we're going to go just 2 more minutes, and then we will be done for the night. The shower is going to feel good tonight. So I hope everybody felt like they did their best. They went as hard as they could in that last minute or 2, that you built your efforts. For those of you who are on Training Peaks with me, I will look at those files and determine those numbers for you. And then we will reconvene next week, as I said, with those workouts. All right, keep it rolling. We got 1 more minute. I think I told you guys I went to my mom's house over the weekend. It is actually her 83rd birthday tomorrow. So we had a very nice time. We had 3 birthdays in the house, hers, Marlon, my nephew, and my niece's boyfriend, CJ. So we had the threesome doing their birthday thing. So it was a fun weekend, and we got a lot of stuff done. My mom always has her to-do list for me, and we got everything done on her to-do list. That's all she wanted for her birthday. So it was good that we got things going. And if anybody is interested in a turtle, I'll be happy to give you one. My niece, of course, won a turtle when she was like 10, and now this turtle is like this big. And of course, my mother is taking care of it. So, great job, everybody. Now you have some new information to use.